commerce or economics. It is also related to people, those who are doing research in media sciences. But as a librarian, you can understand that you are not catering only to the engineering section, not only catering to the management section, you are catering to the entire professors of the institution. So a librarian's approach has to be far, far superior and better than you can say a domain specific faculty. If I say that I am a faculty in finance, yes, I am a faculty in finance in the commerce and management and a business management department. But a librarian has to understand that the research which the librarian has to conduct has to be a holistic approach, and he has to write research papers on the basis of the respondents. Who will be the respondents? The respondents will be, you can understand that respondents are the students, the respondents can be teachers. So the clients, basically the clients of a librarian is the target audience who is going to visit the library. So their research, if you see the research paper of Chief Librarian of Punjab University Chandigarh or Punjabi University Patiala, you see any good Chief Librarian of university, what kind of paper they are writing. So I have brought my lecture, which is acclimatized and attuned to the research papers related to librarians, how they can apply structural equational modeling with the help of a suitable and appropriate model on library sciences, and what they can perform in this specific domain of research. So the first lecture which is assigned to me is related to mediation. Okay, but before going for mediation, I'll take 5 minutes for everybody that what kind of things we are going to require in this workshop. We are looking for a model, MODEL. We are looking for a conceptual model, and librarians are supposed to prepare a research and conceptual model related to their information sciences. Okay, any research paper where the users, those who are your users, students are your users and the faculty is your user, or if anybody from outside is coming to visit your campus, for example, you have got a good resources like softwares are there in your library, and somebody else is coming and paying you some fees, they are your users. So your users intention to use your library will be your most important dependent variable in the conceptual model. You have to bring in the variables of interest. Should not see that I am going to write that what are the factors affecting library use. Gone are those days when people were using exploratory factor analysis, although it's a very good technique, but this is not going to give you much clarity. You should move ahead, use theoretical framework, search appropriate theories. Okay, these days automation is one of the most important ingredient, most important ingredient in library sciences. Okay, you can see that ebooks are very famous these days. So whether people are looking for ebooks and how they are contacting the librarians, that kind of research you should have to produce in your domain. And this is possible. Let me tell you, I am going to share with you few of the basic ideas of the paper. Then we can move ahead that what kind of research I'm talking about and how you are going to use that particular research. And then we will start mediation just after 5 or 6 minutes. So first of all, I'll share few of the papers. You should be very, very thoroughly acclimatized about these papers. I have shared these papers with the organizers. You should see. Can anybody tell me that the screen is visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So for all the faculty, all the librarians, they should see that in China, it's a very good paper in Emerald. What they are writing in China, the person Chang is writing that how e-learning systems continuance intentions are searched. I mean, the dependent variable is the continuous intentions in libraries of China. Okay. What is the purpose? The purpose is they have applied a causal relationship. They have applied SEM. Look at the design and methodology. And they have done a simple study by convenient sampling. An emerald paper, you can imagine that an emerald paper with the convenient sampling can be published. And who is their target audience? Undergraduate and graduate, undergraduate and postgraduate students from 18 to 25. These are the type of audience you are going to encounter in your life, throughout your life. Generally, these are the audience which you exhibit. So if somebody is a chief librarian, for him to gather a response of 302 in 1 month is not a big deal. You only need a questionnaire, and you have to understand that which variables you are going to measure, and based upon some theory. So e-learning system in academic libraries is a published paper. Okay, so what are they writing? They need some variables. Look at the variables. We are going to apply mediation. Look at this variable. These are the variables: the system quality, information quality, service quality, perceived value, satisfaction, and continuous intentions. There are total 6 variables, and in one variable, system quality, you might have 4 5 statements. In information quality, you can have 4 5 statements. Service quality, you can have 4 5 statements. Satisfaction, you can. So you need to just prepare a simple questionnaire on the basis of some theory. Without theory, you cannot bring any of the model like this. If you have a theory, that which are the theories related to continuous usage of e-learning sources, you can bring some questionnaire and add few demographic like male, female, age, income level of the parents, and the stream of education. Student is coming from engineering, student is coming from management. So you can generate some data and you can bring this conceptual model. This is what librarians can do. Wonderful job they can do in this domain of SEM. Okay, let me just show you another paper, e-library implementation. If you see e-library implementation, look at this paper. This paper is published in Croatia. In Croatia, they have written paper that students' perception and use of e-library. Now, this is an appropriate study in pandemic times. Students are not coming to the library, but they are actually accessing the e-library resources. So you can also write a paper on students' perception and use, and you can bring in some of the model. This is a paper written by PLSM and the implication for e-library management in Croatia. You can do the same study with new 1 or 2 more variables in e-library information sciences. This IES is information sciences. So what is the, you can say survey you can conduct on student and web traffic on e-library. You can easily write a paper with PLSM on e-library management in your university with 300 and 400 students. Okay, so they have taken Dillon and MacLean model. You can also borrow somebody's model to investigate how students in Haryana or how students in Punjab or how students in Chandigarh, they are going for e-library management systems. Your target audience has to be something bigger. I mean, don't work only for, you can work for all the private universities of Punjab. You can work for all the government universities of Punjab, or you can have a comparative study of government and private universities in the state of Punjab for e-library management at the universities. So the international level, the faculty in library is also writing this kind of papers. I'll take 2-3 more papers so that your mind has to be fully acclimatized to understand how people are writing. Look at Hamid Rafiq and Fawzia Anwar. They have written mobile library applications. Okay, and the title of the thesis is Computers and Education. It's a very good journal to publish. So investigating that how students are using mobile library applications, and they have brought an argument on the basis of technology acceptance model. How technology is being used by the library sciences for mobile library applications. So this paper is written in China, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. So whenever we see the students, those faculty, those who are coming for research workshops, they must understand that your papers are actually present in the market. The thing is, we are not searching, or we are not having some idea that how we can apply. So all these papers, SEM is applied on 340 users. They have applied on AMOS. You can apply on PLS. PLS is a simpler and user handy software. You will see how user handy software is there. Smart application, TAM is a theory. The theory is going to tell you that what are the variables. Let us see on which variables they are working. Okay, literature review. Yes, this is the model. Look at habit. They have given an independent variable habit, system quality. System quality of mobile applications of e-library, they are independent. They are leading to ease of use of mobile library systems, applications, and perceived usefulness. Ultimately, the dependent variable is behavioral intention to use, you can say applications, mobile app, and that is the dependent variable. These are the variables which are grounded on TAM theory. Now nobody can challenge you that where you are bringing the models. So now you can start writing on the variables like independent variables. Now today's topic is what? Today's topic is about mediation. We were looking for mediation. Start from ease of use. Ease of use is leading to behavioral intention. Ease of use is independent variable and behavioral intention is dependent variable. They have written also dependent variable. In regression, there are two things which are important to understand. Which of the variable you are going to measure and predict and forecast. So it is the dependent variable around whom which variable the research is revolving all around. So everybody must realize that behavioral intention is the variable which is of prime interest to you. Now, people start looking from left hand side to right hand side. Always look from the dependent variable and then move backwards. That if you are working on mobile applications of you can say library resources, so you are looking for behavioral intention to use. Who will use? You can write a study on students. You can write a study on faculty. Okay, so the behavioral intention is the dependent variable and ease of use is the independent variable. It is having a direct relationship, but ease of use is also leading to usefulness. If I think that e-library resources are easy to use, okay, if I think that in your institution your management is proposing and spending money on e-library resources, so if the students think that they are easy to use, then it is leading to utility in the students. Perceived usefulness is utility. Okay, I mean students will find the e-resources useful. So e-resources usefulness is dependent variable, and usefulness is also leading to behavioral intention. Now look at the variable usefulness. It is coming in between the behavioral intention and ease of use. So we are going to learn mediation, that how to measure this perceived usefulness between ease of use and behavioral intention. So Dr. Jitendra has asked me that the basics of this confirmatory factor analysis and SEM, they have also to be addressed. So I will definitely increase. Okay, my audio is okay. So I will address confirmatory factor analysis, and I will definitely address the structural equational modeling also. How to run this model, and what is required, and how to see the mediation in this variable. So these papers are actually related to library sciences, not related to any media or management. Okay, look at this paper, factors affecting mobile library applications. They have also written the same paper, okay, in different context. This is one of the another paper, a quantitative methodology to test theoretical models from library and information sciences. Okay, they have also applied PLSM, but they are investigating the how theoretical models from information sciences and library sciences are going to be utilized. So all these papers I have already shared. You will definitely get it. This one paper more in Emerald, it's of library. So anybody can write a good paper like this in your domain. Understanding continuous intention to use online library resources. And what is the theory? The theory is expectation confirmation model. You borrow a model and investigate into your phenomena, into your context. Somebody is from southern part of India. You can apply the study in expectation confirmation model in Bangalore. Okay, somebody is from western part of India, so you can apply the online library resources. How people in Mumbai are using the online library resources. So anybody can understand with these papers that it is not a difficult job. The only difficult job is that which are the variables. Look at, these are the variables. You need to work on these variables. Continued intention of e-library resources is your dependent variable. Satisfaction is your independent variable, but satisfaction is also acting as dependent variable for usefulness, confirmation, resource quality. Now look at satisfaction. It is coming between quality, resource quality, and continued intentions. So we are looking for mediator, investigating satisfaction as a mediation effect. Okay, accessibility, credibility, coverage, format, they are leading to resource quality, and resource quality is leading to intention, resource quality is leading to satisfaction, and then satisfaction is leading to continued intentions. So this is the thing which you need to understand, that these variables, if anybody is writing a paper and publishing a paper, they have grounded these variables on some theory. Okay, I'll take last two papers more, because in China, lot of studies is been there. This is an A category paper. A category means Australian Business Deans Council ABDC list A category paper in computers and human behavior. How Zhu and Du, they are working on satisfaction and loyalty in digital libraries in Chinese universities. So you can work it in Indian universities. Okay, how satisfaction and loyalty in digital libraries are impacted in Indian universities. Somebody can do it in IITs, somebody can do it in NITs, somebody can do it in the you can say state universities. So in Indian universities, you can also work it on satisfaction and loyalty on digital libraries. And how many people they have applied in survey? This is the faculty from China and Australia. They have written this paper on 426 people. 426 people. And let us see their variables. Then we can come to the practical aspect of the. See, in paragraph number 2, I just said that no research can be written, and it is not possible for somebody to publish a paper without grounding your idea on theory. This is theory, information system success theory by Dillon and McLean. Okay, so as proposed by Dillon and McLean in 1992, you can think of, and then they have added technology acceptance model, the aspect of technology into library. Yes, libraries are automated now. Libraries are heading for bigger automation in the coming times. And you can understand that the quality of technology and the use of technology is going to impact the satisfaction and the loyalties of your audience, student. Okay, on the library resources, you need to understand how students are satisfied, why they are satisfied, and what are the factors which are leading to their satisfaction, and why students should come back to their libraries. The loyalty theory, satisfaction and loyalty theory. So on these theories, you just see, on these theories, now they are bringing this model. Dependent variable is loyalty. Look at the last variable. This is the variable which you have to understand. Loyalty is dependent upon satisfaction. Satisfaction is dependent upon this usefulness and digital libraries affinity and ease of use. If the digital library is easy to use by me as a faculty, I will definitely get utility. Who said this thing? Tam theory said this thing. These two variables are brought from TAM, and satisfaction and loyalties are borrowed from satisfaction and loyalty theories. Now you can understand that you can integrate 2 to 3 theories also to bring your own model. Modern times research at international level is working on theories, integration of theories, and working these theories into media sciences, okay, into library sciences, into management field. If I wanted to write, I am looking for like fintech. If I'm writing a paper on fintech, this is management area. I can use the same theory, TAM theory, into fintech area and I can apply. If I'm working in a library sciences, you can see how automation is impacting the satisfaction of library users and the loyalty of library users. So the system quality, what is the system quality? What is the information quality? Look at the service quality. You go to any good university, you will see a very good system is available over there in libraries. Okay, so till this point, everybody is okay. So the question is how to merge different theories. Yes, you can see that you have to first decide that which variable you want to measure. You want to measure behavioral intentions like this.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt you in between. So can the participants ask question in between or at the end of the session? Because there are like 1-2 questions in the chat box related to this particular topic.
So I'll give 5 minutes window time to time. So now we
Sure.
have a question answer round. Yes. So first question is of Khushi. She is asking that how to merge the theories. Look at this paper. It's an A category paper. You see, you want to measure loyalty. So you search theories of loyalties to bring this variable. You want to investigate the technological aspect into library. When we are talking about technology, you have to search theories related to technology. Merge the two. Look at their merger done by them. They have brought the system quality, information quality, and service quality from the theories of quality. How people are working for the quality of information system quality. System means technology related system. So the 3 variables from system related theories, 2 variables from technology acceptance, and then 2 variables from satisfaction and loyalty theories. They have written actually this thing. They have actually written this thing in yes. Look at this 2.4 paragraph. They have said that these are the 2 main dependent variables on which we want to work. We want to measure the satisfaction, we want to measure the loyalty. So they have gone for the satisfaction and loyalty theories, and then they have added TAM theory. As per TAM theory, ease of use and perceived usefulness. So this is how you can merge 2 theories and bring your own new model. Okay, how to run this model? It's only a 5 minutes job. But how to bring the variables? This takes 1, 2, 3, 4 months to bring out that which of the model I want to measure. So out of all these papers, I will focus on that. You should see how these people are bringing the model. Mediation, moderation comes later on, but variables are the most important thing. Now, once your model is ready, then you can see the mediation effect. Okay, I should not start from mediation. I should start from building the model. Now look at perceived usefulness. Okay, let me just show you the whiteboard so that we can have an idea. Just give me a second. Yes. So please have a look at this screen whiteboard. If I say that perceived ease of use, the digital libraries, my context is digital libraries. Okay, I'm working on digital library. If students can think that digital libraries are easy to use, then they are leading to perceived usefulness. Who said this thing? This phenomena is explained by the technology acceptance model. This is the one of the finest theory which somebody has given. Okay. So this is how you should think of this variable, like perceived ease of use is leading to perceived usefulness, and then they are leading to behavioral intentions. They are leading to behavioral intentions to use. Okay, behavioral intentions to use. Now, perceived ease of use is also leading to behavioral intention, right? So here, once you are ready with this model, now you can see that this variable is acting as a mediator. Who is a mediator? Mediator is, let us say A is leading to B, and A is leading to C, and C is leading to B. This C variable is coming in between the relationship of A and B. Therefore, this person is called as a mediator, and mediator has to be investigated whether this mediation is coming significant mediation or not. Okay. So one of the query is from non-engineering faculty. Okay. My queries are only for the non-engineering belt. Any queries are there? You can simply unmute and you can ask. Yes, anybody. So that we can now start for the investigation of the model. Yes. Any queries?
So there are two participants. They have written question in the chat box. So I would request the participants, you can ask question directly.
Yes. Now,
good morning, sir.
We can have few minutes for discussion. Then we will draw the model. Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, Muskan here.
Okay.
Sir, actually, I want to ask, as you suggested regarding the model, sir, we can like merge some theories.
Yes.
Sir, I have always confusion in mind. So when we construct a model, do we need to search theory for our independent variable, or can we search theories for our dependent variable? Like,
first of all, you need to understand that the most important variable is your dependent variable. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If I'm working on social media, then I must understand that social media use is leading to what? Okay. So
yes,
that variable is the dependent variable from where I have to start searching my model. And if I intend to measure purchase intention, let us say buying behavior, or let us say satisfaction, or let us say loyalty or behavioral intention, then I have to see, next step is then I have to see which are the factors which are leading to this dependent variable. Those
yes,
factors should come out of theories. This is the way people should start research.
Those factors come out.
Sir,
I
mean, those factors should come out of the theories. Let us say I am sharing one of the screen again. If I say I want to measure satisfaction,
yes,
okay, library users' satisfaction. So satisfaction is dependent upon what? Satisfaction is dependent upon ease of use, usefulness, affinity, quality, information quality, system quality. These variables should come from some theory. These theory are related to technology, because we are talking about digital library. No? So we have to search technology related theories. Those theories should give you these variables. You cannot bring your own variable into the model. These variables are to be leveled and based upon theory that ease of use leads to usefulness. Who said this thing? Theory said this thing. Otherwise, how come we are aware of the fact that ease of use leads to usefulness? System quality leads to ease of use. Who said this thing? The theory of quality, which they have used in this paper, it has said that quality leads to ease of use. Quality leads to utility. Quality leads to affinity. These arrows are the most important arrows. Who are telling that this is independent, this is dependent, and information quality leads to usefulness? The theories are saying this thing, that information quality leads to usefulness. So in our graduate classes, whenever we were studying any of this subject, the first important thing is the teachers are teaching us that this chapter is related to this theory, law of demand is there, and many other theories are there. And first of all, we are trained on theories, and then concept comes. Look at the field of economics. Economics always talked about somewhere, some down the line, any of the theory which is proposing interest, theory of interest is there, theory of rent is there. So even engineering background, science people can understand without a scientific principle, law. I mean, there are some scientific principles. We cannot ask anything in physics. Law of physics, they can understand that everything is based upon some scientific observation. So these are the factors which you have to find out from the theories. You have to move backwards. First of all, think that I am going to measure what? Which is the variable you want to measure? That you have to first have it in your hand. Then you can think that what are the antecedents of that dependent variable? Those antecedents should come from theory. Yes. Any other question?
Hello. Good morning,
yes.
sir.
Yes, Dr.
Yes, sir. Can you throw some light on this structural equation modeling to law domain.
To
Law.
law. Okay. So since I taught commercial law and business law for 14 years, so I can understand that in the area of law, you can see that there are criminal laws and there are civil laws. Okay. So if somebody is working on criminal law, let us say, so what is the most important variable these days? These days, due to pandemic, you can understand that people are running short of money, right? So when people are running short of money, they try to steal. Okay, a lot of thefts are now there because lockdown is over. So now you can see that why people steal. That is the most important dependent variable. Then you should look for the factors which are affecting that why people go for theft and why people go for murder. Okay, those variables must come out some of the behavioral theories of individuals. You can borrow the theories of human psychology from the area of psychology, those the departments of psychology. You can ask those people in clinical psychology or criminal psychology, or you can say the behavioral psychologist theories, why people go for suicide intentions, why people go for murder intentions, why people go for theft intentions. So in law you can think of that which variable you want to measure first, dependent variable. Okay, if I am talking about a civil law, let us say I am going for a contract of employment. Okay, so contract of employment should be a good contract of employment. That is my dependent variable. Which are the factors which are governing a good contract of employment? Those should come out of some theories which are related to the commercial and business laws. They are the ones, those who are giving you variables. Now read the chapters of contract of let us say commercial law first chapter itself. They talk about section 10, and under section 10 they have given that an agreement has to be there, two parties has to be there. So chapters are giving you the ideas, sections will give you that these are the points which are related to a particular phenomena. Sections, I mean, in commercial law or in law, in criminal or civil, both, the sections will define your variables, that under section so and so these are the things which has to be there, and these are the panel measures which can be there. So in law you have to see what is the most important variable which you are going to measure, civil, criminal, and then go for backward moving of the ideas. Right, ma'am?
Thank you, sir. Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot.
Even in commercial laws and criminal laws, lot of, because if this workshop could have been on law, I could have brought papers related to law. Okay, so you can see that
Yes, sir.
all the domains are covering PLSM and you can work it on. Even I experienced that faculty from psychology, they are also coming for PLSM, media sciences, library, management. So everybody can think of that how to measure the phenomena. Right, anybody else question is there?
Thank you, sir. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. Anybody's question is there?
The question from my side is, sir, hello?
Yes, Amit sir. Yes.
Sir, can't we test the independent factors through the questionnaires first and in a pilot study, and then, if we find that, there is a causal relationships, then can't we build a model for ourselves?
First of all, when we go for a pilot study, we don't go only with the independent variables. We go with the complete questionnaire, which covers independent as well as dependent. Look at this model, which is in front of your screen.
True.
We will definitely go with the user satisfaction and loyalty on 30-40 respondents for pilot study to confirm that whether participants or the respondents have understood our questionnaire or not. Okay. And number one, either you can explore a phenomena or you can confirm a phenomena. If your objective is to explore the phenomena, then SEM is not the cup of tea. Then exploratory factor analysis is the cup of tea, because there you are not building your argument on some theory. What is theory basically? Theory is an established phenomena which is tested, tried over a 4-5 years of time period. And then theory is given for the academic word and it is universal in nature. If I say Abraham Maslow's need hierarchy theory, that means number one, food, clothing, shelter is the first need. Then psychological needs and physiological, psychological, and then last is esteem and self-actualization. The theories are universal. Universal means if somebody is given a theory and it is called as a theory in America, it is applicable in India also, it is applicable in Ethiopia also, it is applicable in Australia also. Theory
Right.
is this. So if you are exploring the phenomena, then theories are less developed. Corona was, you can say, coming for after 100 years. So these in 2020, people did exploratory study. People did an exploratory study that how can somebody, you can say, recover from this pandemic. But in 1970, Spanish flu was there. In the research of Spanish flu gave three ideas. Number one, wear the mask. This is one of the variable. Wearing a mask will save what? The disease, the spread of disease. Number two is social distancing. Okay, social distancing is variable number two. Third is hand sanitization. These are the three. Sanitization means cleanliness. So these are the three independent variables which are generated from the research paper of Spanish flu. So you can understand that the previous research was fully established like this, that hand wash, so wearing a mask, and the third variable is social distancing. These are the three independent variables which are borrowed from the previous research, which immediately when the pandemic was announced, doctor announced, because doctors were more aware of the phenomena from the books, that how to handle with an epidemic and how to handle with an pandemic. Epidemic is related to particular area. Let us say Ebola virus. That was an epidemic, but Corona is a pandemic. So you can say the reduction of you can say the disease. If I want to reduce the scale of disease infection, this variable is called as infection. Viral infection can be there, or corona infection can be there. So these are my hypothesis number one, hypothesis number two, hypothesis number three. I am not exploring in 2021 that hand wash has to be explained. These three are already been explained in the study of 1917 during Spanish flu. And the research in Spanish flu is being used in 2020 in pandemic in coronavirus. So if your objective is to explore that how now you can say reduce. Now you can say that vaccination was required. Now this vaccination is not related to Spanish flu. This vaccination is related to this Covishield, Covaxin, Sputnik. So new vaccine was the variable which was researched in 2021. Now you can see that new in 2021 we are expecting that this variable is going to reduce the infection. We are already expecting that the third wave will be reduced with the help of this variable. This is research, that whether this H4 relationship is going to reduce the infection or not. So your objective will decide, sir, that whether you want to explore with fresh statements, then go for exploratory factor analysis. Your objective is
Now,
to explore.
suppose if we are going for exploratory factor analysis, sir, then suppose if we found some of the relations are valid,
No,
then we can include.
exploratory is not looking for relationships.
No, sir. Suppose through the exploratory analysis, we find that these are the independent variables that are really affecting. As you said, the vaccination is affecting the in this particular case. So can we add that particular variable in our study or not, sir?
Yes, sir. That is what we are looking for. We have to. So this was an established phenomena. We have to integrate new variables into our proposed conceptual model. If I say that study in China, I am using the same model in India, then what new study you are doing? Where is the novelty? This is your answer is absolutely true. You have already given the answer that in the existing model, you have to bring current affairs. This is current affairs. You have to add new variables into the existing model related to your context. Then you can say your model is a novel model and you are adding something to the literature. Novelty comes with this new variable. Now you can bring new variable also. Okay, new variable, it could be any new variable which can reduce the infection, viral infection. This can be that no political gatherings. Okay, the crowding, or you can say if somebody is working on hospitality and tourism, they can see that isolated tourism destinations. Now people are flooding the places like Manali and Shimla. They should not go for Manali. They should go for a place which is beyond Manali, because isolation tourism is there. So hand wash, mask, social distancing, vaccination is also there. But an isolated destination tourism can be a new variable which can lead to less infection of the virus. So bring current affairs, new variables into the existing model to propose your new model, and then you can say, yes, this is what I am bringing new to the literature, and now I am going to test.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Sir? So let us start with the practical. So you can see that in the previous session by Dr. Mehta, this is the Smart PLS interface, which everybody has to understand that how this interface is going to be handled. Okay, so please understand that I am working on Smart PLS 3, Smart PLS 3.3.3, and you can go for this website. Let me just share with you the website from where you can download and install this software. Please see that you have to go for this smartpls.com, www.smartpls.com, and this is the main website from where you have to install the software. So this is the button download now. Okay, when you will open this smartpls.com, you will see the download now. This is a paid software. 3.3.3 is a paid software. You can install, if somebody is working from Mac, they have to install download DMG installer. If somebody is working from Windows 64-bit, you have to click on download installer. 64-bit download installer. If your Windows is 32-bit, you have to click here. Please download SmartPLS 3.2.9. 32-bit window is available till 3.2.9 version, but latest is 3.3. So you check your specifications of computer. If it is 64-bit, you have to click here, and the exe file will be downloaded. You have to click on next, and the software will be installed. But it will be looking for a license key. The solution is that you can also install a free software which is working forever. And every 3 months you will be getting the license keys. So which is that software? This is looking for SmartPLS 2.0. Okay, so SmartPLS 2 is free. So they have written that SmartPLS 2 has run out of support, but since it is still very popular, we continued providing it for free. It is available for free. So please see here for details. So you need to click here on see here. The moment you will click on see here, this window will open. SmartPLS 3 available. Don't click on this 3.3.3. Okay, you have to scroll down. When you will scroll down, they have given the comparison that why 2 is an older version and how 3.3.3 is a better version. So it is like working on Apple 6 version or Apple 11 version, but the algorithm remains the same. Algorithm is not changed. Algorithm same. So you can still work on SmartPLS 2. There is very less features available, but still you can apply mediation and moderation in 2.0. So scroll down, and they are looking. You really want to ride an old horse? Well, then jump on. Then you have to click here, register for SmartPLS. Click on this SmartPLS register. you will see they are asking you that we will give you license key, this license key, if you enter your email. So always enter your personal email ID, okay, like this, not official ID, because sometimes people leave the organization. So after every 3 months, server will send you a free license key for SmartPLS 2. Subscribe to newsletter. Very rare you will get newsletter, 1 or 2 email you will get after 3 months, and you have to click on submit. The moment you will click on submit, okay, so you will get the key like this. Let me just show you the Smart PLS 2.0 key. So you will get an email like this, Smart PLS, your Smart PLS 2.e. In my laptop, the Smart PLS 2 was installed in 2015. After every 3 months, I am getting their license key like this. They do give us license key, and the software is given with this email. You will get this email the moment you will press over there. Within 10 seconds or 1 minute or 5 minutes, you will get this email. And this button is for downloading the Smart PLS 2. The only issue is this Smart PLS 2 will not work in Mac. It works only on Windows. So click on download and you can install the Smart PLS 2 and you can put the license key and the software will be activated forever. So after this process, then you can come up with the, you can say, interface. The interface will be similar interface will be there in Smart PLS 2 and 3. Now look at this interface. This left hand side is the project explorer where you will create the project, and then indicators, and this is the drawing sheet which you will get. Rest of the option, file, edit, view, all these options are available here, but the most important will be calculate. So I am going to draw a model. I'm going to draw a model which is related to technology acceptance model, because in library, automation is a must these days. Without automation, you cannot work effectively in a bigger library. A smaller library, you can do manual works, but in a bigger library, you need an automation. So first of all, you have to create the project. File, create the project, and let us name this project library, digital library project. Digital library project. Okay. So somebody can work on customer satisfaction and loyalty. You can see the papers after this workshop. You should read the paper, take a printout, and borrow their model, add a new variable into that model, and you are ready for your research paper. Digital library project, click on OK. Now you will see that on the left hand side, the digital library project is created. Digital library project. It is asking me double click to import the data. Where is the data? So I have to double click here. The moment I will double click here, so they are asking me, where is your file? So I know that my file is here in data set TAM 1190 respondent. Click on TAM and the file is going to come here, and click on OK. Okay. So I have sent you this data set also. You should see the video and you should work accordingly. These are the 3 steps. First of all, go to file, create a new project, and the name of the project is there. Then it will ask you to double click to import the data. And please note down, this software will work only on .csv delimited files. This software will not work on Excel file or SPSS file. This software will work only on .csv, delimited files. Okay. So I have shared you this CSV file. If anybody has entered the data in their Excel format, you should please go for file and save as. In save as option, you can change the type of the file. You can always change the type of the file so that you can import the file into this project explorer. Now you can see that digital library project is there and TAM is there, and TAM is in green button. The green button will say that the data set is perfectly fine. If the data set is red, that means some missing information is there, some unwanted material is there in your data set. You have to be very coming up with a clean file. So you just see that how this file is a clean file. And now I need to see the model. Double click on this blue ball digital library project. Double click. The moment I will double click, in the bottom side, you will see that indicators are coming. Look at the increase or decrease. I am increasing the indicators. Now you can see that indicators are there. I can increase this drawing sheet here also. So the first thing is that digital library is easy to use. This EOU means ease of use. There are 5 statements on which data is collected. Okay, so I am selecting these 5 variables. Matthew is asking about how to clean the data. Remove the your missing information. Your file must not have a missing information, and preferably you should see that there should not be unwanted variable. I mean, let us say you have got 9 variables. You have given a 10th variable, but data is not there. So the PLS will never pick this file. They will pick only those files which have variables and their data set. Okay. So okay. Yes, skewness, kurtosis, you should see the outliers also. You should remove the extreme values also, and then you can see. So please repeat how to indicators. Okay. Just look at the option. This was digital library project. I created digital library and it was asking me that, okay, for the convenience, let me just delete this project. Quickly, I will do this. Go to file, create a new project and digital library project. Now I'm writing shortcut DL project. Click on OK. And it is asking me double click to import the data, only CSV data. I am double clicking here and I know where my file is on the desktop. So TAM I have selected, click on open, and I am using click on OK. The moment click on OK, you will see that this data is having how many observation, 1190 observation. I don't need this. I'm crossing it. But I need variables, indicators. So I have to double click on this DL project. Okay, look at blue button. I have to look at my cursor. I have to double click here DL project. The moment I will double click on DL project, the indicators will come. Because with these indicators, we are going to draw the model. Okay, till this point, everybody is with me? Yes, class.
Yes, sir.
And now we know that we are looking for a digital library project. We are looking for whether students are intending to visit our, you can say, digital library resources. Now librarians are sitting alone in the library. Earlier also students were very less in the libraries. These days reading habits are very less of the students. But due to pandemic, now the librarians are left alone in the library. And now they have to entice, they have to encourage the students to use e-resources. Even we receive a lot of emails from my chief librarian that these are the e-resources, these are the you can say Turnitin software is there, please use Urkund. I mean, they are giving us so many softwares, they are giving us so many ebooks. Now the thing is, the librarians are doing research on whether the faculty of the institution or the students of the institution are intentions are there to use the e-library resources. Okay, so the dependent variable, okay, the 3 funnels. Okay, Alina, I'll show you these 3 funnels. What are the 3 funnels? Okay, just give me a second. So my dependent variable is behavioral intention. This is what I always say. You have to think from your main dependent variable. My main dependent variable is behavioral intentions. That whether students and the faculty are intending to use the e-resources from my library or not. So there are 3 statements, and these 3 statements I have brought from technology acceptance model. Simply select them. Look at what I have drawn. Simply select them and drag and drop. The software will not only make your construct variable, but it will also show the 3 statements also. Now right click and rename. The renaming is behavioral intentions to use e-resources. Okay, e-resources of library. Click on OK. Look at the name of the variable. So model creating in the software is a simply, you can say, a cup of cakewalk is there. But borrowing variables is the toughest job which a researcher has to think about. So this is the last variable, and look at align top, align left, align bottom, align right. I am doing it align top. Okay. And intentions is dependent upon, you can say, attitude. Look at this ATT 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I have generated attitude of the faculty and the students, align bottom. If I have generated the rename, attitude is there, attitude to use e-resources. Now attitude can be positive, attitude can be negative. You can see that if I have developed the attitude, then only I can see that behavioral intentions will be there for the faculty and the students. Who said this thing? Technology acceptance model said this thing, that attitude leads to behavioral intention. Otherwise, I cannot say that behavioral intention lead to attitude. That's a wrong notion. Theory is guiding you. If you are driven by a theory, you are the best researcher. Nobody can challenge you, because theory is universal, theory is established, theory is unchallengeable. Theory can be enhanced, theory can be modified, but theory cannot be incorrect. If you say that theory is incorrect, that means you have to come out with an argument that why theory was incorrect. So we need people like Amartya Sen to say that this theory is incorrect, because somebody who's an established person, they can give a new argument that this theory of multiplier is wrong. Okay, so look at my cursor, look at this connector. I have to click here on connector. Okay, now my cursor is loaded with the connector. I have to start from the middle of attitude. Okay, start from the middle of the attitude, click in the middle of attitude and release your mouse in the middle of behavioral intention, and next click has to be done in the middle of behavioral intention. Okay, now my mouse, I want to free my mouse, go to select. If I click on select, my mouse is free. Model is complete, partial model is complete. Attitude leads to behavioral intention. Yes, class. Attitude leads to behavioral intention. How to draw the model and how to build the argument. This argument that attitude leads to behavioral intention. Now look at the another variables. The another variables is the perceived usefulness. The perceived usefulness. This is the variable of perceived usefulness. Align top. Okay, align top. Let me just drag here. I can just simply drag anywhere. Right click, rename. This is the perceived usefulness of e-resources. Okay, digital library, e-resources. Okay, e-resources. Now connector, e-resources leads to development of attitude, and usefulness can also lead to behavioral intention. Theory said, therefore I have connected these links. Theory said that if a student find that resources are useful for them, I mean by sitting at their home, they are accessing the library of Ratan Memorial Tata Library in Delhi, and they find it useful. Yes, researchers find it useful. If they have an access, I'm sitting in Chandigarh, I have an access to Ratan Memorial Tata Library in Delhi, and I need some data and I need some research paper, I will definitely say that the library is e-resources are very, very useful for me. If I find it useful, definitely it will build my positive attitude. And with positive attitude, I can see that behavioral intention is there. Now, usefulness can also directly lead to behavioral intention also, irrespective of attitude is there or not. If I think that it is very, very useful, I will not think about that attitude was built or not. I'll simply use it. Okay, now ease of use. Look at ease of use. Muskan is saying, can we develop our own theory? Yes, you can write a thesis and you should work for 4 or 5 years at least to build your own theory. Yes, we can do it. Okay, but it is very challenging task to develop our own theory. Rename perceived ease of use. Okay. Now you can see that Arun is asking, can we have multiple dependent variables? Yes. Look at ease of use. First of all, let me let a connector. Ease of use leads to usefulness. Ease of use leads to attitude. Now my model is complete. Okay. Just see. Can anybody tell me which is the most important dependent variable in this picture? Which is the most important dependent variable? Yes, class. You can type it out. You can write down my question. I will ask 2-3 questions now. Which is the most important dependent variable? Most important dependent variable. And the last dependent variable. Behavioral intentions, everybody agree? Yes, everybody agrees. Now, for behavioral intentions, how many independent variables are there? Please see the model and then tell me. For behavioral intentions, how many independent variables are there? Is it 2 or is it 3? Arun, Jayashri, they are saying it is 3. Is it 3? Or is it 1? Okay. So how many arrows are coming to behavioral intention? Please see how many arrows are coming on behavioral intention. Are they 1, 2 or 3? There are 2 arrows which are coming. Now everybody can see how many independent variables are there. The answer is there are 2 independent variables. There are 2 independent variables for behavioral intention. Okay, there are 2 independent variables. If I connect that ease of use also leads to behavioral intention. Now how many arrows are coming on my main dependent variables? Now it is 3. Now you can see that your answer changes suddenly. But in order to make this connector, I must have the theory who says that if student find easy to use digital library, they can go for their intentions will be built. Now, this is one dependent variable. I'm coming to the question that multiple dependent variable. 3 independent. This is independent, this is independent, and this is independent. Now, perceived usefulness. Can you see perceived usefulness is also acting as a dependent variable? Can anybody see that perceived usefulness is also acting as a dependent variable? The answer is yes. Everybody agrees? Very nice. Tell me, who is the independent variable of perceived usefulness? Which of the variable is the independent variable? It is only 1. Now, this is the case of multiple dependent variable. Even attitude is also acting as dependent variable. Dependent variable for 2 variables. There are 2 arrows. Can you see everybody? 2 arrows are there on attitude. Right? Attitude is driven by perceived ease of use and attitude is driven by perceived usefulness. Agree with me? And finally, final question to everybody. How many dependent variables are there in this model? how many total dependent variables are there in this model? ES class. How many dependent variables are there in dependent variables? So Omir, Suresh, they are saying that there are 3 dependent variables. When we have, now this is the crux which I'm telling you of SAM. Why SAM is, Arun, it is not 4. You can see that ease of use is only acting as independent variable. Arun Vijay. Okay. Dependent are behavioral intentions, perceived usefulness, and attitude. Okay. These are the only 3 dependent variables. Ease of use is only acting as independent variable for the 3. Okay. There is no another variable behind ease of use. So there are 3. When we have multiple dependent variables, and the same dependent variables are also acting as independent for somebody and working as mediator for the 2 variables, in such a complex relationship, we apply structural equational modeling. Okay, if I have one dependent variable, I can simply go for SPSS also. Okay, so but if the regression, ultimately it is a regression only. If in regression
Recording stopped.
If in case you have multiple
Recording in
dependent,
progress.
in case you have multiple dependent variables, write my words with greater care. If we are working with multiple dependent variables and the relationship of dependent variable is such that it is acting as dependent for ease of use and independent for behavioral intention, my role is dual role and my role is triple, more than 2 also. Usefulness is independent for behavioral intention, usefulness is dependent for ease of use, and usefulness is coming in between use and behavioral intention also. It is acting as a mediator also. Okay, similarly attitude is independent for intention but dependent for these 2, and it is coming as mediator between ease of use and behavioral intention. Attitude is coming mediator between usefulness and intentions. So when such all relationships are to be investigated at one moment of time, in single shot, if you have to investigate multiple dependent variables, multiple independent variables, multiple mediations also, this is a case of parallel mediation. Ease of use is also mediator, attitude is also mediator. Ease of use is mediator between these 2, but attitude is playing a double mediator role. Attitude is mediator between ease of use and intention. Attitude is also mediator between usefulness and intentions. Okay, look at this. I just delete this thing. Who is the mediator in this model? Attitude is the mediator in this model. Can everybody see? Attitude is coming in between usefulness and behavioral intentions. Control Z. Now, if I delete attitude, perceived usefulness is the mediator. It is coming in between the 2. Okay, Control Z. Now you can see that even attitude is acting as a dual role of mediator in such a complex relationship which has to be investigated simultaneously. And in look at the paper, the biggest paper in computers in human behavior. This is the complex model. You can run this complex model with greater ease in PLS. You need to just have the variables. You need to have the relationship between the variables and then draw the model like this on PLS and simply perform your job and get away with the results. Okay. Now I just want a question. This is the simplest model. If you, Muskan, if you see, this is the simplest model. If I show you that what kind of researches people are doing, because a lot of workshops are being handled these days, let me show you one of the model which a faculty is doing. Look at this model. This is somebody's model on which she is doing her PhD. Look, can you see? This is also a model. This is a thesis model. generic skills, basic learning, and many other things. So the academic performance, and she's coming up with the biggest model. You can run any of the complicated model in PLSM with greater ease. No challenge, no issues. That is why people across the world, even in China, all these papers are from China, Australia, Croatia. You will see that people are writing good papers on library, but you need to borrow the. Yes, we can add more variables. Now, if I say that habit, I want to and bring the habit. Generally, you see that Punjabi students, they are not interested to read. Okay, their mindset is in Punjab, the mindset is that if the student can study well and fine, otherwise he will simply move to Canada. This is the approach of Punjabi students. So the reading habits are very less here. Now I can introduce a variable called as habit. I can introduce a variable called as habit in this TAM model, that whether habit also has an impact in Punjab, in the universities of Punjab. Now, habit also drives. If you go to South India, reading habits are very good for the candidates. If you, I am giving you the live example, practical example that people here, people don't read a book. They are not reading any book. In 1 year, hardly people read any book. So habit is habit. We can add one variable called as habit, and we can integrate this technology acceptance model with some model of psychology also, human psychology, how people behave while reading habits. So librarians should be working on this integration of because librarians are interacting with all the faculties in the you can say department. They can because they are the powerhouse of the institution. They have got the books of psychology. They can add variables from the theories of psychology and bring new variables into their model. Okay, so the next question is, should addition of variable? Yes, it can be based upon a theory. It can be, or it cannot be based upon a theory. It can be based upon some research papers. You already have a theory of TAM model. You want to bring habit. You need a research paper that let us say this habit. I'm adding one more construct. Let us say this is habit. Okay, and I have got a research paper. Let us say I have got 2-3 research papers where they have said that let us say attitude do leads attitude is driven by habit also. I need a research paper. Okay, now you just see why PLSM is so robust software, because it is running only with the one statement also. It can run with one statement also. Okay, in MS we need at least 2 statements in software, but in generally in this platform we can run with single statement also. Okay, so now after model building, go to calculate. You have to click on calculate. You have to run the PLS algorithm. Okay, this is the first thing which is required by everybody. Draw a model, search a good model, search good variable, search relationships, or you bring a theory and add new variables into the theory, into your context, and come up with a new conceptual model. And then draw the model. You just draw the model and then run the PLS algorithm. Start calculation, and you will see that in how many seconds? In maximum 5 seconds, the results are there. The output is given here in run number 1, but the project stays here. Can you see everybody? Values are there. So Muskan says it is difficult to search theories. Okay. Can you see the values? Okay. In day number 1, have you gone through the CFA, all the measurement models? Can I have an answer? Everybody is through with what is required? Chalo. Anyways, if no answer is coming, just have a look at these variables, these values. Let me just use the whiteboard first, and then we will go for the values and their calculations. Select. Okay. Please have a look at this diagram which I am creating. We just said that perceived ease of use is leading to behavioral intention, right? This was our model. This was our model, right? So in this relationship is called as direct effect. This relationship is called as direct effect. And the value which we receive here is called as standardized beta. Standardized beta. Okay. So perceived ease of use leads to perceived usefulness. This was next relationship. This is called as indirect effect. Please note down, this relationship is called as indirect effect. Okay, and we will get a beta here also. And this relationship is also called as indirect effect. Okay, here we will get a beta also. Now please have a look at this model. Garima, direct effect, you want to ask me why it is called as direct effect? Is it the question, direct effect? You just see that if I think that library is easy to use, digital library is easy to use, it is directly leading to behavioral intention. Okay. But if I say that behavioral intentions are developed if utility is there and utility is leading to behavioral intention, that is why it is called as indirect effect. Okay. I am going to measure, what I am going to measure? I am going to measure behavioral intentions. Please have a look at this variable behavioral intention. Behavioral intentions can be measured directly from ease of use, but behavioral intention is also coming from first utility and then from ease of use. Okay, this is the direct path which is leading to the direct involvement of intentions. But if I say that if the librarians increase the utility and then utility increases the behavioral intention, then this path is called as indirect effect. I can understand. I got your point. What do you want to say? Let us say perceived ease of use is leading to behavioral intention. This is called as direct effect. Direct path is there. If I say perceived ease of use is leading to perceived usefulness, and there is no relationship between usefulness, is there any indirect effect in this picture? Picture number 2. Can everybody see picture number 2 in the bottom? Perceived usefulness is not leading to behavioral intention. Is there any indirect effect? The answer is simply no. And what will be this relationship? This relationship will be called as direct effect. Ease of use leading to utility, ease of use leading to intentions, that's it. And there is no mediation. Actually, there is no mediation. One variable leading to usefulness, one variable leading to behavioral intention. But if the path is completed like this one, figure number 1, then the path which is going from use to ease of use to utility to intentions will be called as indirect effect. Now it is clear? Yes, Garima, now question is clear? Your question was this, that why it is called as indirect effect. We call this as indirect effect because this path is complete. Behavioral intention is driven from utility. Now look at from the perspective of the end users. Intentions driven by ease of use or intentions driven by both of them, utility as well as ease of use. Okay. So indirect effect is that when the indirect path is coming from somebody, I am coming from Chandigarh to Delhi, I can take national highway number 1 also. Chandigarh to Delhi, straight road is coming, 252 kilometers is the run, and it covers only 4 hours from Chandigarh to Delhi. Or I can go to, first of all, some indirect route. I can go to, let us say, Dehradun. I first go to Dehradun, and from Dehradun, I am coming to Delhi. It's an indirect effect. It's a longer way. Maybe National Highway 1 is blocked. So I have a route. I can go from Chandigarh to Dehradun, and from Dehradun, I can come to Delhi. That would be an indirect effect. Okay. So in this relationship, this perceived usefulness will be called as a mediator, because it is completing the path. It is completing the path between ease of use and, so Dehradun is my mediator. My objective is to go to Delhi, but Dehradun is my indirect effect. So moderator, I will cover in the next lecture. But here we are, first of all, we have got 10 more minutes. We will cover this mediation part, how to report and how to calculate mediation. So please have a look at the direct effect, indirect effect, and this indirect effect. I am showing you the model. Please see this model. Okay, please see this model. Can everybody see that what is the direct effect between ease of use and intentions? Can everybody see what is the direct effect? Use the chat room quickly. What is the direct effect? Don't write in percentage. We are not writing it in percentage. Absolute values we have to take. This is 0.412. This is direct effect. Everybody can observe where is direct effect. Okay. Where is indirect effect value? Where are indirect effect values? Only look at perceived usefulness. Can anybody type the indirect effect values? Where are they? If we are looking only for this usefulness. Yes, Promila has written 0.445. Where is the another value? Where is the another value? 249. Rita has written, Omir has written 249. So I am also writing it in my register that the values are 0.412 and 0.445 and 0.249. Okay. So now I am coming back to the model. Okay. This was our model. What was the direct effect value? This direct effect value was 0.412. Am I right? Everybody? This value is 0.445 and this value was 0.249. Are we ready now for the calculation part? Please see now what is there. Let me just erase the lower model. Let us just erase this lower model. The name of the method which we are going to apply, whether usefulness is a mediator or not. This is what mediation effects we are going to investigate. Whether utility by librarians is significant or not, or valid or not, that we are going to do now. The name of the method is variance accounted for. Please write down this method name, VAF. Please see what is the direct effect. Direct effect is 0.412. What is indirect effect? Indirect effect is 0.445 multiplied by 0.249. Please somebody calculate this value and give me value till 3 decimal places. Anybody who can open your calculator? I need this value. 0.445 multiplied by 0.249. Please give me this value. Yes, class. Anybody who is calculating? Multiply 0.445, this indirect effect, multiplied by 249. So Rita and Promila has given the value 3 decimal places. 0.111. Can I write 0.111 rounded off? Okay. Very nice. Ring Muskan has given. Fine. Add the two. Total effect. What is total effect? Add 412 and 111. Please add direct effect plus indirect effect. Direct effect plus indirect effect. What is the total value? 0.523. Fine. Calculate VAF. The formula for VAF is indirect effect divided by total effect. Indirect effect divided by total effect. Please divide 0.111 divided by 0.523 out of total effect. The indirect root is 111. What is the value of VAF? Is it 212? Calculation error should not be there. So the value of is 212. This is your answer. Okay, this is your answer. Now we have to report. Now we have to report. Please see how to report this answer 212. Okay. I am sharing a fresh file. Okay. The answer is 212. Everybody agrees? The answer was 212. Okay. Fine. Write down if the value of VAF is below 0.20, then the answer is no mediation effect. No mediation effect. Okay. Number 2, if variance accounted for is between 0.20 to 0.80, then we call it as partial mediation. Okay, then we call it as partial mediation. If the value of VAF is more than 80, then we call it as full mediation. Okay, then we call it as full mediation. Now in our case, what is the value? The value is 212. It lies into which range? It lies into this range between 20 to 80. So what is the answer? The answer is partial mediation. PM is the answer. Partial mediation. You have to say that in our context, in our library's context, okay, in our library's context, the answer is partial mediation. What is partial mediation? Please see the partial mediation. It means that the students' intentions are not only driven by ease of use, but also they are driven by utility. That means if a librarian has to see that e-resources are in, people will use library resources, they have to also increase the utility value for them. Okay. If the answer is no mediation, no mediation, then librarians can conclude that it is the ease of use which is driving the behavioral intention. Utility is there or not, utility is there or not, we are not bothered about utility. If the answer is no mediation, no, if the VAF comes less than 20, but if the value was more than 80, VAF value was more than 80, then the answer was full mediation. For full mediation, the librarians will report that if intentions are to be created, if the intentions are to be created, this behavioral intention, then without utility, it is not possible. People cannot generate, in case of full mediation, people cannot generate ease of use to intention. They have to enhance the utility, otherwise intentions will not be created if the value is more than 80. Okay, right? Everybody is okay? No mediation means that only ease of use is driving intention. Partial means both of them are driving intentions. If full mediation is there, then ease of use cannot directly relate to intentions. It is only through and only through usefulness. Otherwise, intentions will not be created. So this question is that WEF is applicable in MS also. The answer is yes. You only need direct effect, standardized beta, and the indirect effect. You can calculate it there also. And yes, can we calculate in Smart PLS? We have actually calculated in Smart PLS. We have simply run the calculate and got the standardized beta. And from the standardized beta, we have gone. Now somebody can do it for attitude also. Direct effect is 412, indirect is 253 and 0.076. You can see that whether attitude is a mediator between these two. You can also see that direct effect is 249 and indirect is 267 and 076. Whether attitude is mediator between usefulness. So there are actually 3 mediations in this model. You can get 3 WEF values and then you can go ahead. Okay. So I guess we have to meet by 12 o'clock. Yes, Mamta ma'am.
Sir, actually, it was up to 11:30. Then another session will start from 12 o'clock.
So,
So-
can we take a break or I can?
Yes, sure, sir. Yes, sir. I think you need a break. So I'm sorry, participants. We are pausing one of the very informative and very interactive session in between. A great lecture, sir. But we are giving you break to gather more energy because we know there are a lot of questions, lot of queries, and lot of interaction from our participants.
Okay.
So we'll start the session 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock sharp.
So
Yes, sir.
I'll join by. I am just putting it on mute. Okay.
Yes, sir. Not an issue.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, participants. We'll start at 12 o'clock.
In the
And
meantime,
the link.
you can calculate. You can generate your queries. Bundle of queries.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, this time is for participants. They can have more and more queries. So we have shared that feedback link also. So kindly fill that also. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.